After the first few days, how do you like the guys' depth and how that's shaking out?
You know, obviously you can tell the team speed has improved, and that's something that, you know, Coach Muschamp been talking about and emphasized throughout the off season. And our guys have got faster, and you can definitely see that. I like the camaraderie right now. We got a lot of guys battling with each other and for each other. And that's the one thing that we talked about, you know, going into the fall camp. We wanted to get closer as a team. We wanted to compete in a different way, and I think our kids are really doing that. So I'm impressed on where we are, but we have a long way to go.
How difficult is it to kind of walk the line between trying to be physical in camp and knowing that you're pretty thin depth-wise and don't want to get anybody hurt?
No, we base our program on effort, toughness, and discipline. And so, you know, toughness is a part of who we are. So we're going to be physical, you know, and just part of playing the game and doing the things like that. But our kids are doing a good job of practicing and taking care of each other, you know, and that's the one thing that we kind of put onus on, you know, being physical but being smart about it, not taking any cheap shots, not hitting the guy in the back where he run into another defender or another offensive player. So, you know, our kids are doing a good job of that, of handling it the right way, and we're really proud of them for doing that. We got to continue to do that.
What are your impressions of Jemias Williams' first 3 days on practice?
You know, a really good, talented player. We playing him at multiple spots right now. Really hadn't saturated him at one spot. You know, so it's a lot for a freshman to come in and play 2 spots. So one thing we're doing right now, we'll saturate him a little bit more as we put on the pads and things like that, and just primarily play him at some nickel. And that'll kind of, you know, broaden his world a little bit for him. But we'll be okay. I'm excited about him. He got the skill set that we always knew he had. He can compete like we knew he would. So we're excited about it.
When do you make a decision on a guy like that, or any of the guys that, yeah, he's going to help us, or he may start? I mean, at what point does the process does that happen?
Well, obviously we hadn't even put on pads, so, you know, it's not fair to say that to him. It's not fair to say that to anyone right now. But, you know, I will say this: the freshmen are doing a really good job. You know, our older players are really taking them under their wing. They're helping them. They're going through all the installs. We got stuff at night where we're doing walkthroughs, and the kids are really taking the onus to be a really good football team. And I'm really proud of them for doing that, and we just continue to do that, and we'll be fine.
Has anybody mentioned Jemias playing offense, and do you kind of smack their wrist if they say it?
Well, if they do that, I'll take shy of defense. So I'm sure the offense won't agree to that.
Tia, how crucial is it to try to get a sustained pass rush and to try to get those numbers up after these last couple of years?
I think that's very important, and that's one of the things Coach Thompson has done a really good job. Coach Dillman in the off-season program has done a really good job of getting the guys faster, working on their first step. I really think that Bryson will help us doing some of those things. I think, you know, Taylor will be great inside. I think Dante Sawyer. I think Dennis Wanham is a guy who has really, really impressed me, you know, the first 3 days. So we just got to continue to kind of find us some pass rushers, maybe these young guys as far as Aaron Sterling, maybe Brad Johnson, some guys that also can provide some immediate pass rush for us.
With Bryson, do y'all like his hand in the dirt? Do you like him kind of roving on the edge as a stand-up rusher?
You know what? He's a guy that can do both, and he has done both in college games. So, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, however he feels comfortable right now, he feels comfortable doing both. So, you know, however it gets to the quarterback, we want him to get there.
What has Wanham done that's impressed you?
You know, he's very good with his hands. He's a very conscientious kid. He knows what to do. He knows how to do it and the way it should be done. And he's a really, really good player, and he's a really good person, you know. And I've been around a lot of guys, you know, and when you're a good person and a good player, you know what I mean, it's kind of guys that I like.
Have any of your first-year linebackers emerged to where you can see some guys who can give you some depth?
Yeah, you know, I've really been impressed with Sherrod Green. Eldridge Thompson is a guy. Damani is a guy that's going to keep coming along. We moved Devon Bowen inside, and he's helping as well. So we got some guys that can provide some depth, and we just got to continue to work with him. There's a lot of stuff we're throwing at him, so when we saturate it into a game day, you know, game plan type deal, then it'll be better.
Is there a number of those guys who you say we've got to have this amount of guys play from that group, from that recruiting class?
No, I probably hadn't put a specific number on it. But, you know, obviously, you know, the guys that's probably not helping on defense, they need the help on special teams. You know, and that's why recruiting is so important. It improves your team's speed. And, you know, you look at our special teams number from last year on the kickoff team, you know, that's very, you know, cognizant of exactly, you know, where we stand as far as our team speed. So we have improved that, so those young guys are going to play.
Based on, whether it be based on experience or personnel, do you feel like you'll have more defensive versatility this year?
No, I think so. Obviously, getting Sky Moore back provides that, immediately. He can do a multiple amount of things, and we will use him all over the field, and he'll be able to help us in a bunch of different ways. But we got a lot of guys that got certain skill sets, and we just got to find those skill sets and utilize them to best fit the team.
Is there a certain scheme, a certain fit that you want the guys to play, or will it have to adjust game by game, series by series, depending on what they can do?
That's right. We play a bunch of different teams. We got some two-back teams. We got some spread teams, and we play them a bunch early. You look at NC State, who's shifting around and doing all the different things like that. So, we got to do a great job of having a game plan for each team and each week, and that's what we're doing in camp. And that's why it looked like we're doing a bunch of stuff, but we're installing for the season. We're not just installing for the day.
How much does it help to have a Sky and Bryson out there to recognize those shifts and call it out to the younger guys?
It means the world. I mean, if you can help a guy on the field and tell him what to do, he got a chance to get it done. But when a guy's out there thinking, all right, he's nervous, I mean, it's a lot of stuff going through a young player's head, it's hard for him to be successful. So obviously that calms them down when they get a chance to, hear and kind of reiterate on what they already thought the call maybe was and kind of go from there.
Who do you expect to provide the depth on the D-line?
We're still finding that out. I think Ken Law has done some really nice things. I think Brad Johnson has done some nice things. I think Aaron Sterling has done some nice things. So we got to continue to do that. We got the guys who came in last year, they got to give us a little more. Aaron Thompson, he got to give us some more. Kobe Smith is doing a good job. So we just got to continue to build depth in that regard, and we will. Coach Thompson, I think, is doing a really good job of developing those guys, and we'll be fine.
How about Webb? Is he showing up here in camp?
Yeah, you know what? He's doing a good job as well. The one thing about MJ, he plays hard. He plays to the echo of the whistle, and that's important to us. And he got a lot of fight to him, and he's just learning what to do and learning how to kind of get into the scheme and get things done.
What have you seen from Ken Law's kind of transition from the junior college game to this level?
He's big. He's really big, and he'll demand 2 blocks. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing, we need someone that can hold a point. When you look at some of the games where we had the ball ran down our throat a little bit, that'll probably be, where you look at. We just couldn't hang in there because we didn't have the girth. And he provides instant girth.
How much, if at all, are you seeing, as you look at offenses, are you seeing them trying to use multiple formations and shifting formations? Is that kind of the next place that they seem to be going?
Yeah, well, certain teams do, but a lot of teams are going so fast, so when you get those teams that's going, so you got the teams that's going really fast, then you're not going to get a lot of multiple formations. You're not going to get a lot of shifts and those type of things. But when you get those teams that's kind of slowed down, the Arkansas of the world, the NC States of the world, all right, that's shifting around, motion, and doing the different things like that, our kids got to be able to identify that and get ready to play because they can provide different kind of blocking surfaces, whether it's 4-man blocking surfaces, all right, different things that we need to adjust to.
Which is tougher to prepare for? Which is a bigger headache?
Well, the biggest headache is not having the right amount of people on the right side of the field. So probably just the shifting and all that kind of stuff, but it's hard to practice when you're going against a team that's going fast because there's no way to practice that.
Right.
So you can kind of tell them it's going to be fast, but till they get out there on the game day and they see it, they don't really understand.
Chris Lamont is a guy that's played a lot of snaps, maybe not been as productive as maybe he wanted to be coming out of high school. Have you challenged him to be that guy as a senior?
We did, and Chris is doing a good job. He's playing multiple spots. We played him at safety, we played him at nickel, we played him at corner, and that's the thing about Chris. He's such a versatile player. He got good size, he got good speed, and he's going to continue to get better. And I thought he's doing a good job the first 3 days.
Has he shown a lot in terms of leadership, helping out the younger guys in the second?
Yeah, he's doing a good job with that, and we got a lot of young guys in the room. And with Keyshawn just getting here, and we got Jam, and we got Zay, and we got Taven. We got a lot of guys, that's looking for that, and Chris has done a good job of providing that for those guys.
Coach, there's been a lot of talk about this team's offense. As a defensive coordinator, what's your evaluation of the team's offense? How good can it be?
I think we can be really good. I think we got a really good quarterback. I think we got really good skill outside. We got good backs. We got a good offensive line. And they're a problem because they give you some different formations, some different personnel groupings. So I really think they do a good job, and Coach Roper and the staff, of just providing different things that's hard to defend.
How much pressure is on you guys to try to keep that offense on the field and get a few 3-and-outs?
We don't really like 3-and-outs around here. We like 1-and-outs. We like to get the ball back. That's kind of what we talk about every single day about getting the rock. And our kids are doing a great job of attacking the ball, and what that helps our offense protect the ball. And we want to be the best, turnover margin team in the country.
Coach, second year for you and Will Muschamp. I guess what's been the difference for you, this year? I know Muschamp said he's more familiar with the roster, but for you as a coach, what's the biggest difference that you've seen?
It doesn't slow down for me. My first year, my whole life I've been just worried about the defensive backs. So my first year at coordinator, I got to worry about what the D-line doing. I got to worry about what stunt we're running, what pass games we're running. So, for me, it didn't slow down because I had a lot of time to kind of, in my mind, see exactly how I want to play and how I want us to play. And I think just dealing with the players, making sure I'm spending a bunch of time with the defensive line and the linebackers and not just spending time with the defensive backs was very important. So I started that throughout the end of the season last year and through this offseason and even now, just going and eat with the D-line, going and eat with the linebackers, spending some time with those guys because I think relationships are very important.
What is your confidence level in the secondary this fall compared to where it was last year?
Obviously because we know what we're doing. It's so much easier to coach a guy about the techniques and all the different things like that, the intricacies of the defense, all right, when they know the base concepts of the defense. And our kids got a lot of knowledge of what we're trying to do. So now we can do some of the addendums and some of the things that's going to help us and provide the advantage that we're looking for.
Were they unfairly criticized last season, you think, or did they deserve the criticism?
Hey, we get what we got. And we ain't worried about that. We don't really worry about the criticism and all that kind of stuff. It's hard to play defensive back. I played it, I coached it, and it's a tough position, and when you're playing really good, they praise you. When you're playing really bad, they criticize you. So it's just part of it. And, like I tell our guys, a DB that's never been beaten is a DB that's never played. A DB that's consistently beaten is a DB that won't play.
Can you see Jamarcus King's strength gains on the practice field so far? Or is that something you have to wait till game day?
Yeah, you know what? Obviously, we hadn't brought guys on the ground. So when we start tackling a little bit and we put on the pads and different things like that, we'll be able to see more if those things kind of transfer to the field. But at the end of the day, I think he's doing a really good job of when you see him putting his hands on people, his grip strength and all that kind of stuff is a lot better than it was last year. So we're excited to see him. He got to continue to keep coming.
What's different about Shameik that can get him on the field a little bit more this year?
You know what? His attitude has been unbelievable. He's been doing a really good job of practicing hard, going about his business the right way, understanding what we're doing. He has limited mistakes, and he's doing a really good job right now. So I'm eager to see when we get in pass on how he continues to progress.
Do you have any insight into why the attitude changed from last year?
No idea. Want to get on the field. It's important to play. These kids come to South Carolina, they want to get on the field and play, and we're gonna play the best people, and they know it. And he's doing a good job, and if he continues to do that, then he'll get his opportunities.
Who are some of the other receivers not named Debo or Brian Edwards that have given your guys trouble?
Shy Smith is a really, really good player. When you start talking in terms of receiver, you got to look at Hayden Hurst as well. They flex him out. They do a lot of different things with him as well, and he's a tough matchup for a little guy. And then the bigger guys, they can't run with him, so he's a mismatch problem. But I thought that Shy Smith is doing a really good job, and I'm excited to see where he can continue to go.
Should have said Hayden doesn't count either. Since
Yeah,
don't know about him.
yeah, maybe.
Coach, describe you and Will Muschamp's relationship when it comes, organizing the defense. What's the preparation like, game day, even during camp? How many times you guys bounce out D's off of each other? So.
You know what? We've been together a long time, and we think a lot alike when it comes to defensive play. And we do a lot of stuff together on and off the field. And every once in a while he'll give me a call. It'll be with my family sitting down, and he'll just get some bright idea to we should play a coverage this way, and he'll call me and we'll get it done that way. But we got a good working relationship. He's a great human being. I know you guys see him fiery on the field and all that kind of stuff, but when we off the field, he's nothing like that. He's a player coach. Our kids are up in his office all the time, spending a bunch of time with him. And I think that's one of the best things about him, to be honest with you. He can coach them really hard, but they know he love them. And they come up and they spend a bunch of time with him off the field. And
any time that you two guys have gone nose to nose over a coverage during a game, over a call, maybe talked about it afterwards?
I like my paycheck, man. He won. Yeah, he won. We're going to do it like he want to do it. And, but that hardly happens. happens. You know, we sit down and we kind of discuss it and we do what's best. And whatever we decide, we act like it's his idea or it's my idea. It doesn't matter. It's our idea. You know, we're going to get it done and we're going to present it like that to our players. And we're going to get it done.
How much does it help being in year 2 where you don't have to kind of take baby steps and realize what you got out there before you start playing games?
No, that's right. You know what? You have some things that you have in your toolbox that you want to do, whether you play a bunch differently or stack differently. Well, in your first year, you're a little nervous because the worst thing can happen, man. You know, all the people in the stands, they might not know what coverage you're in, but if you leave someone back there by themselves, they know someone messed up. And so we don't want to get in those situations. So a lot of the times last year, we had to kind of condense what we did to make it easier for the kids that we didn't give up a play. You know, now we can go out there and be more aggressive in how we call it and try to make a play. And I think that's going to be one of the things that you will see this fall. You know, we can continue to kind of keep getting better and working on our stuff in fall camp.
You can be more willing to put your corners in man coverage to allow, you know, some blitzing up front to maybe help the pass rush now that you are maybe a little more confident in these guys?
I don't know. You work for NC State or something? Yeah, no, I don't know. You know, it's all a feel thing. You know, if we feel like we can get there with 4, obviously want to get there with 4. And I think we're developing pass rushers that have the ability to do that. If we need to pressure, then we'll pressure. You know, so it's just based on the situation, based on the game. I feel really good about what we got going on outside at the corner position, and I think we got to continue to develop some more guys. But, you know, our guys can play man-to-man. We know that, you know, and they'll continue to get better at that as we kind of go through fall camp. But, you know, when you're playing against guys like Debo, you're going against guys like Brian Edwards every single day, you have no choice but to get better. You know, and that's what it's about. So when we start talking about iron sharpens iron, that's what we're referring to. You know, we got really good offensive skill, and it's getting our defensive skill better as well.
Looking at NC State, obviously Samuels is a guy that a lot of people know about, but who are some other playmakers they've got there?
Yeah, well, right now, I don't want to really talk about NC State, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I prefer to just, you know, talk about our guys, and that's kind of one of the things that I hit our guys on this morning. You know, we don't need to be watching NC State tape. We don't need to be watching Missouri. We don't need to watch any of that right now. We need to watch our own tape and work on our own skill and our own craft. And I think our kids are really doing a good job of that.
Your guys' pass defense did a pretty good job preventing big plays last year. Mm-hmm. How important is that as a thing to do in year 1, and what kind of follows that in terms of overall goals for a secondary?
Yeah, that's one of our team goals. You know, on offense we want to get big plays, and on defense we want to eliminate big plays. You know, and when we talk in terms of a big play, that's a 10-yard run or a 20-yard pass. You know, and those are big plays for us. So, you know, we want to do that obviously on defense every single time to eliminate the big play. We want to play good situational football. I think that's one of the important things, and I think one of the main things that Coach Muschamp focuses on, all right, when we script in practice, we have a third down period. You know, we have a pass versus pressure period. We have red zone period starting to come up now. You know, so we have some different situations that we're going to put our kids on, and they need to understand that when we get in those situations, we have to execute. You can't have a mistake at the end of the game. You know, you may have a mistake in the first quarter. You know, you got time to fix it. But at the end of the game, you got to be locked in 100% to what your job is. Your job is detailed and get it done.
What have you seen out of Keyshawn Nixon early on?
You know what? Obviously, you know, the first couple of days he couldn't do much. Today he was putting on the shoulder pass a little bit, so we got a chance to see him run around a little bit. You know, but Keyshawn is a really good player. He is a straight West Coast guy. The first thing he told me was, "Coach, it's very humid outside." But he's a straight West Coast guy, man. But he's a really good player. Got good skill set. Obviously, he don't know what he's doing right now, just running around trying to get the ball off people. You know, we'll continue to meet with him extra and all that kind of stuff to get him kind of up to date on what we're doing. But he's doing a really good job, and I'm excited to have him here.